In this video, we're going to be taking a look at what I think will be a really interesting project for you, and we're going to be using a couple of features here in EasyStone in kind of an unorthodox way. And the features that we're going to be showcasing are the convert to single line font function, as well as here on the editing tab, the respace function. And this respace function, as you'll see in this video, is super powerful. Now I am using the new beta release 4, which as of this recording has not yet been released. This beta release 4 will be released on June 28th. So every Friday we're releasing a new beta release. And some of the things that we're going to be showing you in regards to these two particular functions don't work quite the same way in beta release 3 or previous beta release versions. So we're constantly enhancing functionality, adding functionality, and this next beta release 4 will be pretty exciting because we have some new functionality that we're pretty excited about, and also some modifications to existing functionality, and that's what we're going to be showcasing here. So the convert to single line font feature, you would think that we're going to be talking about converting a font to a single line rhinestone font, when in actuality we're going to be creating a basketball design. Yes, this is primarily used for converting fonts to a single line rhinestone font, but we can also use this for other purposes, and that's the reason we're making this project video. So what we want to do is come out here and let's find a source image. And so I just typed in basketball clip art here in Google Images. Now what I'm going to do for you is I'm going to have a project file that you can download off the website. If you go into the freebie section and look for this particular project file, we'll have the clip art and our finished artwork that we create, so you can use it, study it, and perhaps create your own as well. So what we're looking for is a particular image that we want to use, and this one will make for a good example. So this is the image that we're going to use, and again, you can download this from our project files. There's actually a link in the video description that'll take you right to it. But what we're going to do is we're just going to right click on the image and choose copy image, pop back over here to CorelDRAW, and we're going to paste it in place. So here is the image. Now we can scale this image to whatever size we want our finished design to be. So let's say I want to do a little decal design, and I want it to be 4.5 inches. I just scaled the artwork to 4.5 inches, and I'm going to click on the convert to single line font feature. Takes a few seconds, and this is the result that we get. Now when I converted this, you can see I have my stones set to 2.6, which are SS6. So maybe I don't want to use SS6. So what I can do is I can select the whole design, come over to my stone tab, clear those stones. That gives me just these paths that was generated. So then we can go ahead and change to our SS6 stone size and choose add stones again, and it will go ahead and add stones again. Now most of you are thinking, well, what in the world did that do? That just created one big hot mess. And yes, it doesn't look very good right now. But the purpose of this project is to show you how quickly we can make a small modification using some of the tools here inside EasyStone and fix up even something that looks like a hot mess. And this isn't necessarily how I would go about creating the design, but this is to show you that even though this initial result is not really pretty, we can utilize the tools here in EasyStone to fix it up pretty easily. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing we want to do is get rid of these paths. These weren't created very well to begin with, so we're going to go ahead and dispose of them. So just select the whole design, come over here to the stone tab and hit delete stone paths. Now what we're going to do is we're going to clean up all these circles on the outside. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to draw out a new circle, hold our control key down, that will constrain to a perfect circle. Now you can see that for the most part, this circle that we just created, for the most part, does touch each one of those stones. Now some of the stones aren't touching, but that's okay. Some of them are, and that's all we need. So let's go ahead and come over here to our editing tab and hit respace. And it just kind of spaced those stones out. You can see it did a really good job spacing those stones out. Now there is an overlapping stone here, so we'll go ahead and dispose of that. But otherwise, if you look on the outside edge, all that's all fixed up really good. So now we're going to start with this long line of stones down the middle. So what we're going to do is use that 3-point curve tool, and all I'm going to do is draw from the center of a stone to the center of a stone. There's my arc, and all I'm going to do is hit respace again. You can see how quickly and easily those were cleaned up. Now, the stone spacing is quite tight, so what we're going to do is we're going to delete a couple and hit it again. And now you can see that looks really good. For that line, cleaned up just fine. So now all we do is to finish up the cleanup of the design. So we're going to grab our 3-point curve tool, and I'm just going to come in here, drag out a 3-point curve, hit respace right there. You can see how well it did there. And then we're going to kind of just continue this on over to this side. Hit respace again. And you can see how quickly those stones were cleaned up. And let's do this side. Same thing. We're just going to click, click. That 3-point curve tool, so easy even for a beginner to use. Once you've used it, see how nice those stones lined up now? This is a little bit messy over here, so we'll go ahead and clean those up. You can see, look at that, how quickly that cleaned up. Now we just have the middle here to take care of. So again, we'll do each side independently. Hit that respace feature. And then we'll take care of the other side here. From the center of stone to center of stone. And respace. See how quickly and easily we cleaned up that design, and it really looks really nice. Now, that's great, but let me show you what else we can do here. So we've created this design, and in the process of that, we have paths. Everywhere there's stones, there's paths. Let's go ahead and select the whole design, hold the Shift key down, go to the Stone tab and hit Clear Stones. By holding the Shift key down, what that does is that will delete any loose stones that are selected. When you hit Clear Stones, if the stones were actually attached to the paths, then it would clear the stones from the path. But Shift Clear Stones will go ahead and remove any loose stones that we have selected. Now, I'm going to try and illustrate this point, and I don't know if I'll do a great job, but let's just try here. So we're going to take these paths and shrink them down. Now our paths are at 1.681. So it's a really small little decal design now. And what we're going to do here is we're going to come over here and switch over to SS6 stones, and we're going to click Add Stones. I'm going to switch over to wireframe mode so we can see this point better. But every intersection, there's an issue. See? Overlap, 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 overlap. And this is one very common problem in Rhinestone software, is anytime you have these intersections, the Rhinestone software has to guess what we want, basically. And either you get a not very good result like we have here, or the software will guess where the intersection is and what we want the software to do, and it does a poor job of guessing. And so we don't get the results that we want anyhow. But obviously this is not a very usable result. So let's go back over here and clear stones. Now all these stones are attached to a path, so we're going to just hit clear stones. And that takes care of that. So now what we want to do is we want to tell EasyStone to locate those intersections for us. So we have a function for that, and it's one of the really neat, powerful functions here in EasyStone, because there are a few Rhinestone macros out there on the market, but none that I'm aware of that has this capability. So we're going to go ahead and select our design. I'm just going to make a duplicate over here, and we're going to go over to the Editing tab and click on Intersections. Now we won't actually see anything really happen. Okay, but notice these nodes that appeared. What do you notice there? Those nodes are at every single intersection. So watch what happens now when we add stones. So now when we come in here and add stones, we get a very different result. Look at that. Very usable result, right? Because now you can see at every single intersection is taken care of. Now here's the cool thing about this. So yes, now we have a really nice usable design, but we can now scale this. So let's say I wanted it, oh, I don't know, let's say I want it, this is about 7 inches. You see that there? So it's 7 inches, and maybe for this bigger design, I want to use SS16 size stones. So we'll just click on Add Stones again. And look at that. It just switches it out for us. But look at, it's perfect. Perfect results. Perfect design, just like the original, only a lot bigger. And if I want to scale it down, we're not going to change stone size. We're just going to click on Add Stones again. And so we're still using SS16 stones, but this is only about 4 inches tall now. So it's a lot smaller. And if I want to use SS10 stones for that, just switch it out. And now we have a nice little 4-inch basketball using SS10 stones. But you can see the result is perfect because we utilize that intersection function here inside EasyStone. So once you have our paths, and again, this will be the finished project file that you can download, and so you'll have all these paths, and you can add stones to the paths. And we'll go ahead and tell you what we'll do is we'll clear these stones out. So this is the path, this is the version that has the intersections, and then this is the version that does not have the intersections found. So anyhow, you can kind of play around with that and try and recreate this project yourself utilizing these features. Do not try this project if you do not have beta release 4, because it's not going to work like we demonstrated. Okay, so but you'll have the project, store it away. When we release beta release 4, then give it a try, and it will work just as we demonstrated here. So I hope you like the new features of the Convert to Single Line font, and that new respace functionality works a lot better, and it's really neat to see a really cobbled up design cleaned up in really just a matter of a couple of minutes with that powerful respace functionality here inside EasyStone. Thanks for watching.